Hey guys, welcome back. This is Russell Linville. It's Become a Better Human Project, and today is a Throwers Thursday. So we're talking about today is how do you improve your overhead mobility using soft tissue mobilization techniques that you can do on your own to improve your range of motion or your perception of range of motion or your perception of tightness rather as you go overhead, so that we can get back into this laid back or cocked back position to throw a little more at ease, right? So if you throw a lot, you might have tightness in your pec, your subscap, and your lat, and those are the three muscles. They kind of blend together in a way and share a fascial sheath. We think of it as a conjoint tendon. And so if we're having tightness in any of these muscle groups, or if our tone is high in our muscles, we're gonna have that perception that we can't get fully overhead. And so what I'd like you to do is try some of these soft tissue mobilization techniques, do a test, do the technique and do a retest and see if your range of motion has improved. Now, of course, this will be a short-term fix, maybe a pre-game situation here. This won't cause any long-lasting changes, but that would be more in the sense of like a long-duration, low-load stretch would be a long-lasting change. It's gonna be a short-term pre-game, or if you're really sore after a bout of throwing or working out. So the first thing you're gonna do here is grab a couple different balls. So I'll show you. I have a lacrosse ball here. If you haven't done soft tissue work with a lacrosse ball, you have not been in health and fitness or sports performance industry in the past 5 years. I'll show you a way you can do this, and of course in more videos to come, we'll show you other areas you can target. Just a standard lacrosse ball. This is called an alpha ball. This is about the size of a softball. You could also use that, but it's just a little broader surface area and can dig into our tissues with a little bit more surface area. And so this might not be as acute or as uncomfortable as something as small as a lacrosse ball. And then finally, of course, we have our foam roller. This is just a half foam roller that we'll use on our lat. So first thing we'll start with, I usually tell guys, you're just gonna go through a self-assessment where you lift overhead, and anywhere that you feel is your sticky point or your tight point, you're gonna take that lacrosse ball, let's try it again. Take that lacrosse ball and you're gonna find that, and you're just gonna open palm roll into that tissue. So a couple of things you can do. You can do the open palm roll, which feels great. You can find that area, pin down, and then stretch. So you can either move your arm back behind you or go into this external rotation, cock back position. Or you can pin and then try to do some neck mobilizations as well. So what I'm actually doing here, you watch our cervico-thoracic Move Better Monday, you'll know we use with a barbell into the upper trap. Similarly, we're sharing common fascial sheaths here. You can dig into the pec, basically use the tackiness of the ball, push down and pull, and then do some pin and stretch using your neck as the driver rather than your arm. So a couple of those. So I want you to do that with the lacrosse ball. Then I want you to grab the alpha ball or the softball, and you're gonna use this in a very similar way, except you're gonna lay supine, so laying on your back. You lay back here, arms up in the throwing position. You take that ball, and we're gonna push that ball into the pec tissue. And again, you're finding the spot that you feel is the most tender or the most taut. That's the area you want to work on. We'll go there again. We can pin that tissue down, and then you're going to mobilize doing some things like snow angels, or moving your arm up and down, and even working an internal and external rotation. Those are areas you're trying to find to loosen up that tissue. And just a brief sidebar here. We're not really deforming the tissue here. We're not lengthening it. We're not doing anything like that. The key here is we're trying to decrease tone through that musculature to improve your perception of your range of motion so you feel better and you perform better. And then finally, what we're going to do is take a foam roller here, and you're going to lay on it on your side. And so the midline of the side of your body needs to line up with the middle of this foam roller. Your bottom leg's going to be straight, your top leg's going to be bent over, your top hand's going to be on the ground. You're going to use your top hand and your top leg to elevate your body a little bit off the ground, and you're going to roll up and down into the side of your thorax. So there's two positions I'm doing here. Right now I'm more anterior based with the roller, right? You can see that my chest is tilted towards the floor more. It's probably hitting more serratus, maybe a little subscap, and if I go far enough, we'll hit pec again. What I want you to do to target lat is you're going to lean out of that position a little bit, and there's a fine line because the edge of your shoulder blade, there's some muscles that attach there, and if you're laying between the foam roller and the edge of your shoulder blade, that tissue's going to get pinched and it's not going to feel good. So you want to roll far enough out that you can actually feel that you're hitting muscle tissue rather than that sharpness that might be you pinching between your shoulder blades. And then I want you to go up and down about 10 times. And after you've done that, you're going to find that spot that's the most tight or the most tender, and then you're going to roll forward and backwards 10 times. Again, we're going to test, retest. We've already talked about in previous videos how to assess lat or overhead motion, so that'd be a great test, retest for something like this. Check that video out. And so if you got any questions or comments, I want you to shoot a message below. We're also going to try to upload these videos every Thursday, the Throwers Thursday, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. This has Become a Better Human Project. Again, I'm Russell Limbaugh, Sports PT. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you like these videos. Thanks.